best days to make phone calls. So as you would probably expect, as you get into the later part of the week, it tends to pick up. Most of the time, people are more available toward the end of the week. Sometimes they're taking days off. They're planning what they're going to do for the weekend. It's just natural that you're going to have a better probability of connecting with people later in the week. So if we think about that and we're trying to figure out, well, what days am I going to prospect, or what days am I going to take off, or things like that, you might want to use this data. I'm a big fan. You guys should have at least one full day a week off and at least a half day a week off on top of that. Well, if I know that this is the data, maybe I take Monday off and like a half day on Tuesday. Like I work Tuesday morning, I come to the meeting, and then I check out the rest of the day on Tuesday. Based on the data, if I'm going to do a day and a half off, the data tells me that's the best time to do it. So think about that. As you guys are building out your ideal weekly schedules, figuring out the days you want to work, when you want to take off, if I know I have a higher probability of connecting with people on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I probably shouldn't take those days off. I should probably take Monday, is a great day to take off, unwind from the weekend, and Tuesday. So think about that when you guys are planning out your schedules. And just thinking about a Tuesday versus a Thursday, your probability of connecting is 49% higher on a Thursday versus a Tuesday. That's pretty cool. If I knew I could go fishing here and basically have a 50% probability of catching a fish higher than fishing over there, why the hell would I go fish over there if I could fish here where I know I have a better probability? So utilize that when you guys are building out your schedule and thinking about what days you want to take off. The next thing is the best times to make contact. And so what they've determined is that sweet spot in the morning is from like 8 to maybe 11, and it kind of dies off from there, just like fishing, although fishing is even a little bit earlier. But from like 8 to 11 in the morning is the ideal time, and then from like 4 to 6 or 7 is kind of that sweet spot in the afternoon. So if we know it's better to call early and late, let's not time block important things, let's not time block things in those places. Let's time block prospecting in those places. So hopping on the phone, right at 8 o'clock until 9, 10, 11, or you guys on the team, we have you going huddle, role play, and then boom, jumping into your dials. We know that probabilities best 8 to 11 and 4 to 7. So if we know that's the sweet spot, that's when we should be dialing. So we should be blocking into our schedules our time blocks during that time period. The thing that I'm big on, even though I get that it's a little bit higher when you get into that afternoon time, how often do we time block some calls in the afternoon and actually get around to doing them? Right? We all know that there's so much shit that happens between the time you wake up and 4 p.m. that the probability of you following through with that 4 p.m. time block is a fraction of the probability of you following through with that 8 o'clock time block. So one of the sayings that's always stuck with me since I got in this industry is the phone gets heavier as the day goes on. Let's use that phone when it's nice and light and it's easy and nothing negative has happened. The world hasn't ended, like it hasn't gotten crazy yet. Let's get that done in the morning. That's the best time to prospect. Even though your probability of connecting is a little bit higher in the afternoon, still I think it's crucial that you have that time block in the morning, because you're going to follow through on that far more than you are that 4, 5, 6 o'clock time block. Now, I do recommend that you stagger this out a little bit. I've posted the ideal weekly schedule a few times, and you guys will see on there I've got morning calls, afternoon calls, morning calls, afternoon calls. I think it is important to stagger it, because if all we do is dial every day from 8 to 11, we never dial in the afternoon. There's some people that just cannot answer the phone between 8 and 11. So we got to, every once in a while, we got to, at least one day a week, we got to mix in some afternoon or evening calls. You just got to do it, because you're going to connect with some people then that you maybe don't connect with during the day. And I mean, this one, they literally compared 1 to 2 versus 4 to 5, 164% difference. That's freaking massive. Why in the world would I ever dial from 1 to 2 instead of 4 to 5 if I know that it's that drastic of a difference on my probability of connecting? So let's be smart and let's dial when the fish are biting, right?